Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today was a juicy day for the XRP price. I think you guys have all noticed that too. However, this update here is not about the price, but only about what is happening on the 28th of April. So you guys are all up to date with what Ripple's going to go through here regarding the lawsuit. Now, let me first quickly ask, have you guys also been bamboozled by everything that's happening in the space right now? It's freaking juicy, it's freaking crazy. But Elon Musk, for all of you guys that missed it, earlier today replied to Dave Portnoy, whom said, "So, am I understanding this correctly? Elon buys Bitcoin, then he pumps it, it goes up, then he dumps it and makes a fortune." Fortune is relative, of course. "Listen, I own one Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is exactly who we thought it was. Just don't be the last one holding the bag." Elon said, "No, you don't. I have not sold any of my Bitcoin. Tesla sold 10% of its holdings, essentially to prove liquidity of Bitcoin as an alternative to holding cash on the balance sheet." Wow. So this was really something extremely bullish on crypto, and it just really put me into a really positive little note. It just was really nice for me to see. Then on the same, but still a different note, to all XP holders, XP will change your life forever. I just want to kind of point out, don't only think short term. Don't only think if the price doesn't go up right now, it will never go up or anything along those lines. Man, we have such a long time frame for ourselves, and the lawsuit once more is showing a little bit of that importance. So let's now dive into it. Here is a little article tweet from April 23rd. SEC asked the court to deny Ripple's request for an order requiring the SEC to stop using foreign requests for assistance for discovery purposes and to turn over all materials already collected. So that might sound a little bit strange. You might also not understand what it is talking about. Well, let's actually dive a little bit deeper. April 21st, a couple of days prior. Breaking news. SEC seeks order limiting discovery. And again, discovery is the phase in which they're in right now. It is basically meaning you get information about the other side. To external communications. So the SEC is asking the judge basically to limit the discovering of files to external communications only. So that basically means Ripple can discover stuff, but only what the SEC kind of communicated outside regarding market views of XRP, Bitcoin, and Ether involving any of the 19 custodians identified by Ripple's defendants. The SEC a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was April 6th, I don't remember exactly when we got the heads up from the judge, which basically was, hey, Ripple, you can get these documents from the SEC. And she said in that little hearing, you can get the external communications and internal memos, not the internal informal communications between SEC members because of the privacy laws. Now, the SEC is coming here on the 21st saying, well, we don't want you to get internal memos. We only want you to get those external ones, which basically means the SEC only wants to give out what they've already made public, and which does not require the SEC to review or produce internal communications from those custodians or any others. And here's basically that motion, that part. It's long, all right? Let's put it like that. You can see here it's 145 pages long, and it basically goes over here in very much depth why that should be the case. Why, to some degree, Ripple is overreaching, but mostly why they want to exclude it. Right? That's the first one. It's really important to understand. That is April 22nd. Then 2 days later, the SEC asked the court to deny Ripple's request for an order requiring the SEC to stop, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what happened was Ripple found out a little bit earlier that the SEC was using a lot of information from outside the United States. That's what Ripple found out. And Ripple basically requested them to stop using all of this. And the SEC is now coming back saying, well, we don't want to stop using that because we don't think it is fair. And that is actually most of the stuff you need to know for kind of the basis of things, because that's basically what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be talking about those specific two things. SEC sought info on Ripple and XRP from 24 entities, including trading platforms. A couple of people pointed this out to me. It's not really important for any new date. It's only important to kind of understand the situation right now. The SEC doesn't really find it fair that Ripple is asking them so much. It doesn't really find it fair that Ripple is, for example, now overreaching a little bit by asking too much information, and another part asking them to stop with some of the research that they're doing, which is hypocritical because they're researching a lot themselves, and it's really interesting if you start to think about it. It's also how the SEC is requesting so much information about Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson and their past, basically, and what they've traded. Then, what is about to happen? Well, SEC v. Ripple requested an additional 2 days to respond to today's SEC News Discovery filing. Ripple has asked to be allowed to respond on Wednesday, April 28th, again tomorrow for me or in 2 days for you. The SEC News has consented to the request's standard scheduling stuff. This whole rescheduling doesn't really matter. It is about what is actually inside of this little document. So, dear Judge Netburn, we write on behalf of defendants Ripple Labs, Inc., Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson, pursuant to the court individual practices, and we consented the SEC to request that the deadline for the defendants be moved after the 2021 April 21st letter was filed, which basically is this one right here, talking about the order to limit. We want that letter to be extended by 2 business days from April 26th to April 28th. Okay, nothing any special, right? Ordinarily, defendants' response would be due on Monday, April 26th. Defendants respectfully request an additional 2 business days to fully respond to the SEC letter. This is defendants' first request for an extension of time. Defendants sought the SEC's consent by email on April 21st and received it later that day. There's nothing else in the second part here. It's just basically Ripple is going to respond to this idea here that the SEC wants to limit everything that they're doing. And you might be wondering why this comes into play here, what the whole MOU and the whole, outside the US was all about. Well, that is what is going to happen a little bit later on the 30th. So even though right now we are only covering what's going to happen on the 28th, and I'll make a different video on what's going to come on the 30th, because if I make them both at the same time right now, people will not understand the difference, and I'll get more questions anyway. I'll definitely do another update. That part, which is basically what the Ripple was doing wrong, that's what the SEC complained about. That is what Ripple has to now give a comeback for on the 28th. What the SEC did wrong is what the hearing with a judge is going to be about on the 30th. In little words here, or actually just full words, you're making a huge impact on the SEC News v. Ripple case. You're being heard. The court increased public accommodation from 500 to 4,000 people, with also international calling right now. And I guess I messed up by not having the proper tweet. Here it was. Order granting 121 letter motion for local rule, a telephonic discovery conference scheduled for April 30th, 10 a.m. EDT. The court will communicate with the parties regarding the conference line. Let's quickly check it out. Members of the public who wish to listen to the conference may do so, dialing that in, 4,000 spots. The public is reminded that both recording and rebroadcasting, e.g. YouTube streams, Twitch streams, audio-only streaming, etc., is strictly prohibited, and anyone found making unauthorized recordings or rebroadcasts will be investigated and may be subject to criminal sanctions. Hereby ordered by Magistrate Judge Netburn, Sarah. I do wonder how exactly we can live stream this, because I will not live stream you the sound, but I will be live streaming whilst this is all happening. So I'm kind of wondering if I should just dial in on my phone and then listen to it and then tell you guys what is happening, or if I should just listen to it and then make a video about it afterwards, something like that, because I'm not sure what counts as rebroadcasting. If you are listening to something and telling something in your own words, that is rebroadcasting, but then again, it's not, because you're just summarizing something. Even if you're repeating it though, it's not a literal rebroadcast, it's just you broadcasting that. So it's not a rebroadcast, but it's just a broadcast of a broadcast, basically. This is also this is the discovery conference regarding the SEC's contacting foreign regulators and seeking discovery outside the rules of federal procedure and the Hague Convention. Once more, that is the 30th. The 28th, though, so tomorrow or the day after that. Sorry, guys, yeah. It depends on when you're watching from. For me right now, it's freaking 6 a.m., so it's going to be tomorrow. But for you, it might be, a different date, a different time. It might still be the 26th, so it might be the day afterwards, right? So I'm not sure what I'm going to call the video just quite yet, but you guys get the idea. And I haven't read fully through this because it's 145 pages. I'm assuming that it's only the first couple of pages here, the first, this little area that actually makes sense. But then again, I'm not even going to attempt. I don't want to. I don't want to try. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to care, because I don't even want to scroll through 145 pages of just back and forth maybe or stuff. I don't know. All right, the first couple of pages, if you are interested, is the most important and juicy stuff. It's basically just the SEC explaining why. So, the order denied defendants access to internal SEC staff communications. This is basically what the judge already gave the SEC. They basically said, SEC, all your internal communications are safe, the ones that are informal. Only the ones that are formal, the memos internally, those you're going to have to give. The court further indicates a lack of familiarity with how the SEC operates and required the parties to meet and confer about whether the SEC should produce or enter onto a privilege log, memos, or other official documents, especially the agency's interpretation or views as to XRP, Bitcoin, or Ether. What they said right now is that the information between the 19 custodians basically should all have been given anyway, but the specific ones regarding the internal memos, which they had to meet and confer about, they shouldn't. Now, again, this is actually only one part. There's one part which is still missing, though. I didn't open that, I went up. And that is the SEC is basically going after them, after Ripple, basically explaining really how Ripple is overreaching and how they're trying to broaden it. It's also in here, luckily, as you can clearly see. It's just, they're trying to address it as if Ripple is asking one of the craziest things in this world for asking some information from them. And I just think it's really preposterous, just crazy the way that this is moving right now. I keep reminding you guys that I think this lawsuit is not fair, but man, this date is going to be interesting. We're just going to see how Ripple's going to respond to getting their documents, because I do believe Ripple has rights to those documents because the judge said so. But let's see, all right? Their offense points were the order denied defendants access to internal staff communications. Defendants make new and broader requests inconsistent with the court's order. There is no reason to broaden the court's order. The SEC's interpretations and views on the law must be and are publicly expressed, and the renewed request for internal SEC staff communications is contrary to this court's order and demonstrates further discovery gamesmanship by defendants. So yeah, let's wait it out. Let's see what it is, guys. Once more, don't let yourself get distracted too much by the price. If you are into trading, though, make sure you check out Bybit. A link is down below to the exchange that I'm using. There's also a VPN link down below. There's right now, I think, also a really heavy deposit bonus. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto update soon.